iPad here. Am I? Oh my God! Oh, we're live.
Yes, we are live.
We are live.
We're so bad at this. Okay. Well, welcome to the JillStream. And it is Wire Wednesday.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, we've been like
finally getting it
been
done.
wanting to do the Wire Wednesday. So, okay, so this is Wire Wednesday. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to... Oh, no. Why am I echoing? Oh, okay, I know why I'm echoing. Hold on. Let me...
Oh, you're not echoing on my end.
No, I had two windows open at the same time. It was like all of a sudden I started hearing myself, and I was like, "What the hell is happening?" And it was weird. So, but I have corrected that. And okay, so the premise is we are going now. Jill and I both have HBO Max. So what we're going to do, I don't know what. Well, hello, Mr. G. Let me see, get you on the screen there.
Hi, Mr. G.
Yeah, Mr. G. Hello, welcome. But this is what we're gonna do. So I've got it paused right now.
Oh, we're gonna go through the episode like that, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, interesting.
Watch. We're gonna watch. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure I got my closed captions.
I'm gonna mess up probably most of the names. Though I shouldn't.
Closed captions I on. Okay, so I've got I think if you want to follow along with us, if you're a Wire fan, or if maybe you've never watched The Wire before and you can watch it along with us, where this is gonna, I think there's 5 seasons of The Wire. 5 seasons of The Wire. The final season had it was a shorter season. It had 10 episodes, so it was decent, but the other seasons had like 12.
Well, it's like a full complete circle too, which we'll get to by the end. But I think it's a nice little package to the first season.
I mean, even with season 10, I thought they were able to get it wrapped up. But I thought season 5 was interesting. With it obviously went in a different direction. But this is season 1, episode 1. It is called The Target. And it is directed by a gentleman by the name of Clark Johnson. Clark Johnson also directed episodes of Oz. He was an actor. He was on Homicide: Life on the Streets. He played a detective on Homicide. So that's why you'll see all throughout the different seasons of The Wire, you'll see people that were on Homicide or Oz or both. But Clark Johnson directed several episodes of The Wire. He directed the first episode of The Wire, which is called The Target. He also directed season 5, episode 10, which is the series finale of The Wire. It's called 30. So he directed, he bookended it. He directed the first episode of The Wire. He directed but he directed several episodes. Also, I remember Eric Dickerson, if I'm not mistaken, I may have got his name. Well, he directed Snoop Dogg in that movie Bones.
Oh my gosh,
so they were having they had like top notch The Wire, especially as the show got more and more critical acclaim. They were having a lot of like hot black directors in. It's like, oh, let me get a urban director in. They would just get these guys because they were actually shooting on location in Baltimore, just like Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Didn't they use like real life extras also? I feel like before. Like a lot of the people are from the Baltimore area.
Well, yeah, and the first kind of semblance of The Wire, where you get guys like Clark Peters, who played Lester Freeman, is The Corner, which was also David Simon and Ed Burns. It was a 6-part thing, and that's on HBO Max as well. We might want to watch that after but maybe like sometime next year by the time we finish this thing. But it has. That's the first time I saw David Simon and Ed Burns. That's the first time they worked with Clark Peters, and he was on there. There was a few people that were in The Corner that ended up getting primary roles on the Wire. So yeah. So okay. So what I'm gonna do, if you are ready, Jill, if you've got it fired up.
I don't actually. Well, you didn't. I didn't know we were going to be watching it. I thought we were going to be talking about it.
Well, no,
I did watch it. I watched it twice.
Yeah, I watch it. That's what I'm saying. I want to watch it, and I want to stream it. Okay, so I'm stalling for time.
I've got my iPad right here, so just go ahead and start it up, and I'll join in.
Okay, so yeah, because it's got to play through this Perry Mason career. HBO Max has all these commercials right at the, they got to put trailers in there because they know people are going to watch the wire. So
everything.
So let me get through my Perry Mason.
I wish they used the Perry Mason theme song though. It's probably was it not a CBS show? It's probably owned by somebody.
I mean, I suspect since it's supposed to be based on the Perry Mason novels and not although this is supposed to be a younger Perry Mason and he's not an attorney, obviously. So I'm watching,
yeah.
But I've heard the show is really good.
Isn't he a lawyer? And I was like,
yeah, he's a private investigator in this, and it's kind of different. So
I think it's going to take a turn. But.
Okay, I just got the HBO screen. So now we have got the Wire pull. Okay, so this is the intro of the Wire, which I find very interesting. This is the Snot Boogie intro where we are coming in. It's a crime scene. We're on location in Baltimore. The guy sketched out. They're bagging him up or whatever. McNulty is sitting there, and he is talking to a guy. I guess he was cool with the guy that got shot, the Snot Boogie gentleman that they have shot up, and he's asking, why do they call this guy Snot Boogie? Why is he? His name was Omar Isaiah Betts. That is his real name, his Christian name, but they call him Snot Boogie, and they would be out there shooting dice, and he a dope fiend or whatever, and he would run up and he would say, "Hey, let me get in on the game," and they would let him play, and then eventually, as the game went on and he saw enough money, he would always, and he did this apparently multiple times, he would grab the money. He would grab the money from the game and run off, and then everybody would chase him, and they would catch him and beat the hell out of him. That's what they would do. They beat him out. Now, this time he did it apparently, and this person decided to put that thing on him. They pulled that goddamn it out on him, as they say out there on these streets. They pulled that thing out. They dropped the hammer on him. So homeboy is like, damn, why didn't they just beat his ass like we normally do? You didn't have to kill him.
Right.
And, so, yeah. And, and McNulty is asking him, and he goes, if he would rob y'all every time he played the game, why did y'all let him in the game? And then, and then dude told him, he said, hey, man, it's America. And that's when we go in. So, yeah, so this is the scene that's playing out right now, which I always love this scene. They would always, I don't know, it would sometimes, I noticed they would come in. I always liked the way the Wire, it's always beautifully shot. Maybe it's because they remastered all these episodes, but I watched it when it aired originally. I was
like a regular TV.
Yeah, when let me see. I'm familiar. Right? Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, so here we go with the theme music for The Wire, which is this season. They had different artists perform down in the hole every single season of The Wire. Pretty sure it's let me see.
It gets stuck in your head for sure.
Well, this season is the Blind Boys of Alabama. The Blind Boys of Alabama, which is a gospel group, and my mother was a fan of theirs, and I remember I bought their CD and gave it to her for Christmas.
Okay, I'm finally in, Antonio.
All right, so we got. I don't know if I'm bleeding through. I don't want to get flagged or anything because I don't know. We'll make sure. But yeah, I'm watching the Blind Boys of Alabama. I always love how they did because you watch the credits.
Pause it after the credits, so then we'll sync up.
Okay. So I will. You gotta get the devil down in the hole. All right.
We're seeing all the drug deals, the
Nina Kostroff Noble. You will see her name throughout all 5 seasons of The Wire. They had a very loyal crew, I noticed, during this show. A lot of the people, sometimes with television, you'll see certain producers and they'll be there for a season or 2, maybe 3, and then they'll move. Obviously the show. Okay, I've got it paused on the screen right now with the title, the quote screen when they go, "When it's not your term and more." And this is something that they do with, obviously, every episode has a title card with a quote.
Okay, I'm at the quote. Ready?
Okay, so when it's not. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm doing it now. Okay, boom. It's
do it now.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, the quote.
All right. So now we are at the courthouse, I think. Yes. I know this is Bunk. This is Bunk, which is Bunk. Yes, this is Bunk. This is Wendell Pierce. First time I ever saw him was in Waiting to Exhale. And he played, I think he was with, what's that, Leela Rashawn or whatever. She's married to Antoine Fuqua, although they might have had some problems. There's D'Angelo Barksdale. There is his lawyer.
This is a pretty important scene. I mean, it sets everything up, but this is the game. This is the game. We're getting insight right now into the games.
And they just showed Idris Elba. And they just showed Idris Elba, and that is, to my knowledge, the very first time he had appeared on American television. No one had ever seen it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of people did not even know he was a British actor. And, there were, obviously, Dominic West is British as well. And Clark Peters, even though he was born in the U.S., he has lived in the UK since at least the late 70s. He moved. He
probably has like a weird accent, like Madonna used to have.
Well, I've heard him, and he does some. I've seen. Matter of fact, he's on his Dark Materials, and he's playing a professor on that show. But yeah, he sometimes he tries to talk with a British accent. And he's on a lot of British television. And then, here we go. Is this Weebay? No, that was Stinkum. Okay, Stinkum just came in. Weebay's already sitting in there. So here comes the young lady. She's sitting. This is their. We're about to find out that the Barksdales have paid her off to recant her statement, and her name is Lakeisha Lyles. Okay. So the lawyer. I always loved the way they shot these court scenes.
Now, do you remember the first time you saw this? Who did you think Idris Elba was? Like the character? Like, did you think he was a lawyer sitting there, or
I thought he was,
like part of the team, the defense team, or like
I thought he was like a lawyer or something. I didn't know
a jury consultant or something. You don't really understand at first. Just
because you gotta come in cold to everything. You knew from the previous scene where McNulty's at the crime scene that he's a cop. You know that.
Right,
you don't know anything else.
And he's obviously interested in what's going on here, McNulty.
Yes. I can't wait till we get to season 2. That's why I was like, God, seeing McNulty in season 2. Although some people get mad because they kind of cut back and did other things, but I thought season 2 was fantastic. But now this going back and looking at this, it made me wonder, because we never see this. A lot of the other attorneys that they use on The Wire, you see them in other episodes. If I'm not mistaken, you never see this woman again.
No, you're right. It's that other woman.
Yeah, it's Perlman, but Perlman is in this episode.
Huh. You're right. She's insignificant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But matter of fact, there's another woman that the one, I'm trying to remember her name. She's the one that gives Omar the get out of jail free card in season 2 when he snitches on Bird. And then you see her throughout different seasons when she, because McNulty I think it's Bunk that hits her up about getting him out you know, when Marlo tries to frame him for killing that delivery person at the store when they
I
were
can't
sitting
remember season 2.
Yeah, so there's so much. Yeah,
Now.
well, like I said, that's one reason going through it. But yeah, all these. And matter of fact, I've seen the guy that's playing the judge. He's on a lot of things. This is Barlow. You'll see him in a couple of episodes. I think he's in at least a couple seasons. That's what I'm saying. That they had the retention of their crew. People died on this show. I mean, you'll see the old man later in the episode.
Characters or in real life?
Yeah. People. There's a couple of people. They were on the show, and they were just here until they passed. People passed away on the show. You know, the one gentleman that he was a colonel, he ended up getting cancer, and he kept coming to work. And you see, I think it's in season 4, so his face is sunken in, and he was able to shoot like 1 or 2 episodes of the thing, and then he was so sick, and he just died. And they did the thing where they go to the bar and send him home and stuff, which they did with a couple of characters that really died in real life here. So this is where we see Kima Griggs, and I always love this scene how they introduce what's her name, Sonja Son or something, because I know she's like half Asian. Yeah, she's like black and Asian or something. You know,
who's that wrestler chick that she calls herself Blasian? I don't know if that's PC or not, but that's what she calls herself. Mia Yim.
Okay, so she's Blasian. Okay.
Yeah, but Kima's cool. Like,
yeah, I like Kima's one of my favorites.
You already are liking Kima. Like,
oh yeah, Kima.
Or at least I do. Like,
okay, so this is Herkin Carver and
these two.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy that plays Carver, because obviously he's on The Walking Dead, and you know, so, I mean, these guys, but he was on Oz. That's the guy that plays Carver. First time I saw him, he was on Oz. And the guy that plays Lieutenant Daniels was on Oz. So yeah, you've got this is when, you know, here's Carver. He's okay, boom. They're taking, you know, they got to go in there. And you kind of see that Kima is definitely the best of the 3 detectives at that point.
Right. She knows what she's doing. They're just in to have some fun.
And there is the great Dominic Bardozzi. Man, he's on so many shows. He was on Power the last few seasons. But I mean, I'm just saying.
Seth Gilliam, Antonio.
Seth Gilliam. Okay, yeah, Seth Gilliam is he's Carver.
I like that lady's like, don't put that on my car.
Yeah, that was just like, man. But there's a lot of these people aren't even actors. They're just people that.
Well, you see right there, or you saw that one dude take the money immediately. The one cop. What's his name?
Yeah, well, that is something that
that'll come into play later. But yeah,
I actually thought that was interesting that they a lot of times you see cop shows, and unless they're doing crooked cops, they don't show the cops as doing anything shady. They don't show them taking any money or doing anything. You know, obviously a show like The Shield, if you ever watched The Shield.
Oh, I've seen.
Vic Mackey was a dirty cop, so that was the whole point. Shaking, you know, that's what his whole deal was. But if you watch shows like NYPD Blue or something like that, they don't show, unless they're doing a specific episode about a dirty cop. They don't show. Right.
Or someone having a moral dilemma or something.
Right.
The good guy, or the good cops have to be good guys.
Yeah,
just cops are cops, drug dealers are drug dealers. That's
one thing I liked about The Wire. They would bust and take, you know, they'd sit there and look at $300,000-$400,000, and they would look at each other and, hey, let me stuff up a couple bills in there, you know, and just make sure everything's good. And
we'll get to that in the future episodes, but once The Wire starts, it throws a little wrench into their future retirement funds. Those two guys.
Man, everybody is so young here. It's just crazy because, I mean, this is Idris Elba, and he is so young, and Dominic West is so young. I was just like, my God.
What year did it start?
I think it came just after 9/11, actually. I think so. It
2002.
Was 2002, because they started filming a couple months after 9/11 happened. So Yeah, because if you notice, they actually mentioned 9/11. They mentioned the Osama bin Laden and stuff in these episodes, and like especially when he starts his buddy Fritz or Fitzhugh, the guy that works at the FBI.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a bunch of they kind of tell him that new loopholes into getting evidence and shit.
And from what I understood, they added some of that stuff in. They had already gotten the green light to do this show. Mm-hmm. And then 9/11 happened, and they obviously updated and added some of this stuff in. So this is obviously McNulty stirring the pot, as we are going to see he is doing so many times. He's stirring the pot with the judge.
Now, what do you think of McNulty? Like, why is he doing this? Is he doing it because he is our good guy? He does just want to do his job the proper, correct way and the right way.
When you first see him, you obviously don't have a clue about that, right? So you don't know what he's doing. But at the same, and then once you go through the course of 5 seasons, you know he loves Jameson. He's a drunk. You know what I'm saying? He likes to, and he likes to stir shit. And
so it's a personality trait / flaw that's happening right now.
Absolutely. But right here, we don't know McNulty that well. We don't know him over 5 seasons. So right here, we just go, oh, wow, he just was in the court. He just saw the Barksdale people beat a murder. And then in the next scene, when he's actually talking to Major Rawls, he explains that, they had beat him out of a case from the year before. And so, okay, so now we're in the narcotics. Let me see what we do. Okay, Kima is trying to type, but she can't type for shit. So I can relate to that. She's sitting there going.
This is a trait on most cop shows that no cop likes to do their reports. Nobody likes to do a police report.
And she looks like she's actually typing on a real typewriter. That's one thing that threw me. I was like,
it's super old school. They obviously
it's 2002. I mean, hell, we had word processors and stuff when I was in school in 90.
Hey, I'm sure in Baltimore the money in the police department probably goes to different things.
Fair enough.
But they're sitting here wasting time. Look, she's sitting here wasting time using whiteout on a.
Yeah, she's got to use whiteout. So ridiculous. That's crazy. And then but they're having a conversation about upgrading and getting better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's one of the things they're talking about, getting better equipment in. And you'll notice once we go to season 4 that deals, because each season has a theme.
Right.
David Simon always said that was intentional. Each season had a theme. So he wanted to break down the city of Baltimore in 5 parts. He wanted to talk about, let's actually go to the hood, to the projects or whatever, and show what's going on there. And then season 2 focuses more on the white part of town. What happened? Mm-hmm. Okay, Baltimore used to be a white city, and now it's predominantly black. What happened to some of those white people that either couldn't leave and go to the suburbs and had to stay, the dock workers, all that kind of stuff. Season 3, we start to see what happens as the city gets poorer and poorer, and those terraces, those towers start getting knocked down, and we're starting.
I think that's where I just started watching with my family, maybe around then. And is the next season the one with the kids? Or is that's
season 4. So now we're going to the public school system, and we're starting to see how. So, like I said, season 3, we're starting to see that a lot of these black families, these people in the hood, the city is. Yes, I agree. Season 4 is exceptionally strong. I really and you see Marlo in his full power and all that kind of stuff. But
when does Littlefinger come into play? What season does he come in?
Season 3.
Season 3, okay.
Season 3, and was he in? He's still, because he's running for mayor in season 4. Right? He runs for mayor in season 4, and then, but yeah, we start he runs for mayor in season 4, but we first see him in season 3, and that's when you get the Amsterdam thing and all that, and which, man, season 3 is probably, when I rank the seasons, first one has so much sentimental value, but season 3 is super strong. Love season 2 too. Some people, when I've looked at the critics, some people rank season 2 as the strongest season. Some people don't like season 2 because they felt like the show got away from, it was a primarily black cast, and then all of a sudden you bring in this cast for season 2 and it's primarily white.
And people hate change just in general. And
some people they were like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be Baltimore. You're supposed to be focusing on the black men. But they brought in, I love when they were doing the Greek and all them stuff. I love them. I thought that was fantastic. So I thought every season has its own personality and everything. And I really
2 and 3 I haven't seen, so
season 2 I think is a masterpiece in its own, but I understand why some people are like, why did they get? And then even someone like McNulty kind of had to fall back, but he's, and let the dock, because it's more focused on the dock workers and everything. Mm-hmm. So he's in it obviously, but it's the season's different. So okay, so now we're seeing that, they're both the homicide division and the narcotics division are having to write these reports up,
all because of this judge and McNulty.
Yes.
The judge swinging his dick around.
I understand the criticism of season 2, but see, like I said, season 2 is exceptionally strong. I loved season 2, but I've noticed some critics say this is the best season of The Wire, and I'm like, although, like I said, but a lot of people panned season 5, and I thought season 5 was really good, but I understand why some people didn't like season 5 because it had the weird serial killer storyline.
Oh yeah, I can't really remember season 5.
Yeah, but I will break that down. Obviously, when we get there,
we'll get there eventually.
Yes, but I love this. This
okay,
guy,
so Kima. Okay, yeah, this
guy was
on. He's kind of a good guy.
This is matter of fact, his character's name is based on he's actually named after a real police officer who actually ended up being an actor on the show, which we'll see him as well. So I can't remember. He's Sergeant. I can't remember his name.
Landsman, Sergeant Landsman.
Jay Landsman. Okay, so the real Jay Landsman is an actor. He was a police consultant, and they said, "Hey, get in here and actually earn your paycheck." So he ended up he was on. I think he shows up in season 2, maybe, and he's on the show from season 2 to the end of this. Like I said, these guys stay. So, So here we go. Look how beautiful this is shot right here. So we're in Rawls's office, and this is John Dorman.
The homicide division, right?
Yes.
McNulty and these guys.
Yeah,
and Kima and their narcotics.
Yeah, Kima and Daniels, Hurt, Carver, they work narcotics. And then you've got Bunk and McNulty and Jay Landsman and all
other guys.
Yeah. These are the homicide. They're murder police, as Bunk and McNulty all said. They're murder police.
I don't think we've gotten to it yet, but no, I think it might be the next scene when they get him and Bunk into the murder scene. They don't want a homicide. They just want an accidental death or something easy.
Baltimore, I think
numbers. They want their numbers.
You always hear Baltimore has one of the highest murder rates in the U.S. Baltimore, Detroit, Washington, D.C. was always one of them. So it's like you get these areas with these very high murder rates. And, so Detroit was always Detroit was always up there in the top 5 murder rates in the U.S. and stuff.
Yeah.
Baltimore's murder rate is exceptionally high.
These guys are all, especially these top guys, they're all just about closing the cases. It doesn't matter really how. They don't really care.
If you get it closed,
get that number.
Because they're being graded on performance. the police work becomes like anything, because I know when I worked at Amazon, it was the same way. So they're looking at okay, so you have how many auto thefts? Can you get that number down by say 10% before the end of the year? Okay, we had X amount of murders, and statistically, if you commit a murder, I'm talking about in the US, I think you can, there's like a 40% chance you could actually get away with it if you actually take some precautions and stuff like that. So it's
I'm sure depending on where you are and if the cops even give a shit.
So you'll see as they're going along. So they're concerned, the sergeants and stuff, they're trying to make sure that their clearance rate on how many, if they can write, oh, okay, well, this is a murder, but let's say it was it was accidental. So that way we can write it off as solved, and then we can write it off the book. It's a black. If it's still red, it's unsolved.
Just so like capitalism, it always has to be more, more, more.
Yeah, so
more.
That's another reason why when we get into season
quality.
2, with all those dead hookers in season 2, and McNulty pulls his shit to fuck with Rawls, and they're arguing over who gets okay, so here's Weebay and D'Angelo, and oh man, so yeah, this is when you kind of start seeing that D'Angelo maybe isn't as street smart as, because obviously you see Avon, who is played by Wood Harris. Avon is street smart. He knows the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all the ins and outs, all the rules and unwritten rules. Yeah.
Stringer is the guy. I'd say Stringer Bell is more like a Wilson Fisk type character. Although when you go into I'm a big fan of the Kingpin in the comic books. So like the Kingpin, he sits back and pulls the strings from behind the curtain or whatever. But when you go into his origin stories, he started out on the street and worked his way up. You know what I'm saying? He started off doing the dirt, and then he got to a position where he didn't have to. So that's Stringer. Stringer throughout the series is trying to. It's not that he's trying to get out the game, but he's trying to put them in a position where, okay, we're doing dirt, but we're so legitimate that you can't pin anything on us.
Why is Weebay not as street smart though? Because
Weebay is street smart. No, Weebay. You're talking about D'Angelo.
Why is D'Angelo not street smart though? Because we meet his mom later on.
His mom, Brianna, is definitely in the game.
Right. So how is he not?
It's just
like what happened? Where has he been?
He grew up with his grandfather's.
It seems like he grew up around it, but he knows nothing.
He grew up. His whole family grew up because
they've kept him away from it or something, which seems odd if they're gonna if he's in it.
I know Stringer tried to talk like he was spoiled or whatever. It's just the way. Right. And Avon, Avon just always tried to.
But his mom seems like such a badass that wouldn't have spoiled.
And Brianna comes from Homicide: Life on the Streets too. She was on. All these people came from Homicide. They were all on that show, so it's like, yeah.
Huh? You saying that about D'Angelo is kind of fucking with me because it's like, why doesn't he?
He's just different, and that's the thing. I always liked his character though, because his mom is
thinking. He's struggling also with just his life.
He's smart. He wants to be in the game, but he's not really about the. And you kind of see that, like when we get into season 4, and we find out that Naaman is Weebay's son. How do you be Weebay's son and be such a pussy? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what you just like, okay, Avon.
It's not like he's been away at college or anything. Like
he grew up in the game. He grew up. Right. His mom, his whole family, his grandparents, the Barksdale family have been running.
What gig has he been doing up to this point? Up to before I guess he was he killed that guy. But we find out that was anyway.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's like the whole thing. It's like he's.
You know what? That's what's so he's actually being demoted. Is what's being is happening.
Yes, he's being demoted.
He's being demoted to the tower and the drug game. instead of like.
Well, he's been demoted to the
muscle.
pit because the tower is big money. So like if you run the tower, you get a pit.
Right.
So yeah, that's and then they swapped it out. Ronnie Mo was in the pit, and so obviously when he shows up, and Stringer's like, "Yo, we may take him down to the pit," and he's shocked because he's always had a tower. So he's like, he's had a tower because you're a Barksdale, and they're starting to see that he a Barksdale, but he ain't about that. He ain't about that life like we are. Even though
he has to like start over.
Yeah, but he always, you can see that, and that's one thing I know about how the season just went on. He's just not like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole thing is different. He just
it happens really soon when they pull him in for the next murder that happened. I forget, but then he like confesses and all that stuff. Anyway.
Oh God, yeah, that whole thing with Levy and well, like when Levy smacks him upside the head, I'll be like, and he looked at Levy like, you know, Levy would not do that with Avon or Stringer or anybody like that. But he felt
he needed it.
But he would not have pulled that. And this is Avon. Remember, as a matter of fact, earlier in the episode, I didn't know if this was a mistake in the script and they didn't want to change it or whatever. But McNulty was telling Rawls about D'Angelo, and he said that D'Angelo was Avon's cousin. And it was... And then obviously later on they say it's his Avon's nephew. So you know, I don't know if that was. It actually comes across as more authentic because this cop don't know them. He just knows their family. They got the same last name. He don't.
Yeah, he doesn't know the exact relationship. Plus, they don't even know what Stringer Bell looks like.
Yeah, but you know, other shows they would have just made the cop knows everything right off the rip.
Right.
Yeah, and he know, oh, this is his cousin from his mama, his sister Shanae, blah, blah, they got everything.
And whether it's real or not, the show feels real.
That's what this is why it's what I'm saying. I like a lot of British serials like this. Like there's a British show called Cracker. And it's fantastic. I've seen Cracker. Yeah, Cracker. They made an American version of it, and the American version was actually good, but the British version with was it Robert? Is it Robbie Coltrane? Was it Robbie? Yeah. I think it's Robbie Coltrane.
Hagrid, right? From Harry Potter.
My God. Yeah. Okay, so but yeah, Cracker, the British version is fucking fantastic. That's brilliant television. I mean, it's just, and you see it. He's flawed and
it's people, rough.
That's why I'm saying, and they're real people. They look like
like Prime Suspect too.
Yeah. Prime Suspect is fantastic too. I watched it several ago.
It feels very real.
Aha! Now this guy here that just walked by, Jay Landsman, that guy is actually, I can't remember what's his name, Robert. I think it's Robert Cole. He's actually one of the producers on The Wire. He dies. He has a heart attack in season 3, if I'm not mistaken. He drops dead.
Spoilers for a show that's been out forever.
I'm saying I'm saying he died in real life.
On the set or off the or.
He died off the set, but he was his character. This is the first time you see them actually do the bar burial thing where they lay someone out at the bar, which became a common theme. They did that with the Colonel, and then matter of fact, when McNulty and Freeman at the end, when they go, when they get put off the force, they do the thing at the bar for them just out of love and everything. So that matter of fact, I think they used the producer's guy's real name. D'Angelo definitely don't have the stomach. And let's see, it's a great character study because D'Angelo is just supposed to function in this crazy and
he's kind of, besides McNulty, so McNulty's like our main character with the cops, whereas D'Angelo's our main character on the street side. Yes, in the first season for sure. Like, oh,
definitely in the first season.
Yeah,
we see things. We see things. So there's Stringer. So why does Stringer let him walk by him? I don't know why Stringer.
Getting the names mixed up.
Stringer just listen away. He's like, yo, and then he's like, yo, what's up, man? Boom, and then he's like, yo, we gotta.
I said they didn't know who Stringer Bell was, but they don't know who Barksdale. They don't know what Barksdale looks like. I messed that up. I forgot.
Yeah, but McNulty, because obviously McNulty knows Stringer. They talked at the courthouse.
Right, exactly.
TJ Swan, how you doing, brother? The Irish funeral, the Irish funeral. So you'll see the Irish funeral happen for a few people, but the guy, I think it's Cole or whatever, he's the first one they do it for, and that's because he was actually, you'll see his name in the credits at the end. He was, but I think he passed in season 3, if I'm not mistaken. Right before they started shooting. So there's John Dorn. That guy right there, he dies season 4, I think.
Oh my God, the real Walking Dead.
Yeah, and he gets cancer, and he actually, like I said, he actually does shoot an episode in season 4 or so, and I mean he's got cancer, and you see he had been having chemotherapy treatments and stuff. His whole face is sunk in. He looks so sick, but he wanted to come in and at least shoot one episode. He loved shooting the episode so much that he came in. And, and I always liked his character. I don't know why but this is how it is in the hood. They would literally just have, I know when I would go to, I used to live in yeah, and you would just see like lawn furniture and shit just sitting out there. Nobody would do anything. It was just, and it would rain and it would still.
Well, there's no benches or anything out here.
Yeah, but people would just be like,
"We got to pull a fucking couch out."
This put a lawn chair out here. And this.
So this is the pit. The pit. What's this kid's name?
TJ Swan. Actually, we were just talking about that. I like season 2, but I noticed, like I said, when I see like TV Critics' Choice, a lot of times they try to say season 2 is the best season. I thought season 2 was great, but it's not my favorite season. I think season 1, and then I go season 3, and then season 4. Then I'd say season 2, even though I love season 3 and season 2 are so close. But I have to give season 3. So I'd go 1, 3, 4, then 2, and then 5 for me. That's for me, though. That's just my personals of all the seasons of The Wire. So there we go. But like I said, when the cancer kicks in, you see him, he's got like a pot belly. Look at him. He's looking at it right there, and he's got a little pot belly. But when he gets the cancer, and he really, and you see it in later seasons, and he still comes in and films his season, and his little episode, you see his whole face is sunk in. He just gets sick, but he still, he loved the cast so much, he came in, and they loved him, and they were really sad when he died. He was only able to shoot like that one episode or whatever for like, he shot like one scene. He came in and they actually wrote it into the script. They was like, oh, he's getting cancer treatment. Then he died, and I
was going to ask if they assumed they wrote it in.
Yeah, they just like they do with Cole. Like I said, the Cole.
Here's our first intro, Bubbles.
Yeah.
Bubbles. Now, he's around for a while.
Now does
Bubbles make it through I can't remember if Bubbles dies, doesn't he?
No, Bubbles makes it the entire
Does he make it?
way.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
He's drug free. He just
I can't. I'm so glad. I'm happy to rewatch because I don't.
And without AIDS, which his homeboy here, what's his name, Johnny or whatever,
fucking guy. I don't know.
He died in Amsterdam in season 3. A rat had eaten off half his face too. I remember they started the rat. Started, yeah. And he came from Oz too. That's what I was like. My man sitting on the couch.
I was gonna ask, who was that guy? What?
Bodie. Yeah, he was on. First time I saw him, he was in Oz. So let me see.
Is Bodie his name here? What's his name here?
Bodie. Yeah, that's Bodie.
Bodie. Okay.
Let me see. I talked to him on Twitter. He's actually a nice guy. I was surprised he talked to me.
Really? That's
each
cool.
season, let's see, Mike Jinx said each season can be different. But season 4, I really like. That's the kids. Yeah. The first episode of season 4 is called The Boys. I think it's called The Boys Summer or something like that.
Speaking of the kids, the kids kind of remind me of like this kid right here.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. This is the first time I've ever seen Michael B. Jordan ever. And who would know that Michael B. Jordan is Michael B. Jordan? But this is the very first time I ever saw him. And obviously he's a huge star. but he was like 15 when they shot this. And
yeah, he's a sad character in this.
Yeah, I like how they did Bubbles, and it didn't seem forced because he tried to get clean in a couple seasons earlier, and
I think this season he tries for like an hour or two.
Yeah, that's the thing. He tried to get clean a few times, and then he would relapse, and he tried to get clean again, and then so when it looked like at the end he finally beat it, and I was really happy. TJ Swan Bodie went out like sold it for me, man. The way Bodie went out was crazy. Man, I can't wait till we get to that, man. When we start seeing Michael and all this stuff. But man, Michael B. Jordan, like I said, he's like 15 here. I've never seen him on television before. He's like 15 years old here. He's so young.
He's really good this season, and he's taking care of the kids and shit. It's so, sad.
But I know people that live like that. That's what I'm saying. I know people that was their whole existence, just their mom is, I knew real crackheads and their moms is doped up, and they, the younger brother would have to, he would have to, get his other brothers and sisters together and make sure they got, oh man, this
make sure they have the juice boxes.
Yeah. So it's like the whole thing, man. Oh God, man.
This is the type of scene that makes you never want to do heroin in your life. Or, not heroin. They're not fucking buying heroin. Wait, what are they buying? What are they buying?
No, it's heroin. That's Baltimore.
It is heroin.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, heroin. They do heroin. So this is they're that's like with New Jack City, it was about crack. So it's like New Jack City, they was doing freebase crack cocaine, and then so obviously The Wire, the whole thing on The Wire. There's a movie called Fresh. And one of the guys from The Corner is in that, and also Giancarlo Esposito, that's from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And Giancarlo Esposito is the bad guy in Fresh, and he sells like heroin too. It's like
I actually had a friend that was addicted to smoking heroin.
Yeah, they call it base. They call it base or heroin. So that's and I'm
wasn't quite like these guys. Like she presented herself very normally. Not like these guys.
There were no bad actors on. I can't think of any. And even the people that you found out they really weren't actors, they were all the cast.
They kept it so real.
Yeah, so
they didn't like tell them to act. It was like just be themselves.
Yeah, so you get Daniels again. Like I said, that's the first time I saw Daniels. He was on Oz. There's Frankie Faison, who I've seen. I've seen Frankie Faison on so many TV shows from my childhood. He was doing everything, and Frankie Faison. So I was very happy. Him and the guy that played was it not Carcetti? The mayor. Somebody in the chat tell me who the first mayor was before Carcetti comes in, because he was on a different world. I remember him from a different world, and he ended up being on there. So this is
from a different world.
But Frankie Faison, big fan of his. He still, I know he still pops up on stuff. Let me see. Let's see. Mike Jenkins 2 and 2 heroin and crack. Well, yeah. It's like around here though, it was like, especially in the 80s, we didn't have heroin here. I'd hear about heroin and some of these. I remember when I first started hearing about crystal meth, and I was like, that's something they do in other places. We didn't have it here. It's here now. It's here now. It's one thing, like when you're in the South and you're not in Atlanta. Like if you're in the South and you're not in Atlanta, if you're not in Atlanta or New Orleans, like New Orleans, it's like when you're in New Orleans, if you're in New Orleans, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in like Richmond, Virginia, some of these places that are like, they're in the South, but they have very affluent people in and out and all that kind of stuff. Then you get, because like I said, Atlanta's in the South, obviously, but it's Atlanta. So they get stuff like almost as quick as like New York and LA get it.
I was gonna say, I think you can get anything you want around here.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But you're out in Cali, so I was like, I'm talking about right here in Murfreesboro. I was like, heroin is something you just see on television.
Maybe you just don't roll in those circles.
No, I'm telling you what. No, I was in the projects until I was how long? And I mean, it was the real projects. I was in the projects. We came to Murfreesboro. We lived in the projects for like. I was always in government housing up until I was always in the hood. I was in the hood and government housing until I was like 29 years old.
Did you see drug dealing like in The Wire?
I saw drug dealing, people getting shot, stabbed, all kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. There were definitely drugs.
Have you ever seen anyone die?
I've seen people get shot.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that was crazy. We moved into a brand new neighborhood. And the very first night I was there, first night I lived in the neighborhood, this guy got shot directly across the street from my house. And I saw the ambulance. Yeah, I saw he lived though. And it was like he had gotten shot like 6 or 7 times at different times. Shit. Yeah, he had been shot multiple. I saw him, he was out there hooping, and you saw his chest where he had bullet holes in his back, in his chest, and so he had at least 6 different. He was getting shot with like 22s and stuff. That's why I was like, you tell out my ass didn't know nothing about guns, because I was like, you got shot, you automatically think somebody's gonna die. And I was like, okay, you shot with 22. So that's when you start learning about different calibers and stuff like, okay, you got shot with a 22, you can live. And I didn't know.
Is that why you're such a nerd, Antonio? You had to stay inside and stay away from that fucking bullshit?
Yeah, I was playing video games and stuff. Like I was watching cartoons, and my brother, he got into that life though. Yeah, my brother was. Yeah, he was definitely.
Your brother's good now, though, right?
Oh yeah, my brother's good. Yeah, he's a big old square. He's an L7. You know, so, yeah, L7 baby. All right, so here we go. I love this. Okay, so we running the scam.
The scam, yeah, the scam. Okay,
so he, and
it's such a. How do they? Okay, the kids are stupid because how do they not see that? But they're not really paying attention, I guess.
Because the Xerox thing is real. The Xerox thing is real because I was working at Mapco. I was working. It was a convenience store, and they would bring in Xerox money to us trying to hustle. They would try to bring in a fake $20 bill and shit like that. And these dope. It's not a real bill. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, man.
So just doing it just to see if it works, basically.
Yeah, they trying to hustle. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, I didn't know anything about different calibers of guns and stuff. I just thought if you get shot with a gun, you die.
I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to guns.
And like I said, Scamp, my brother was cool with him. They had, done some dirt together and stuff. So he's like, yeah, man, Scamp been shot like 6 times. At different times. So he's been shot multiple. He had multiple gunshot wounds. It was all with small caliber. So my brother was schooling me about this shit.
Jesus, so okay, here's John. 6 different fucking times. That's insane.
Yeah, he didn't take 6 shots to the like when 50 Cent got shot 9 times. He got shot all at once. Mm-hmm. He got shot him and once. In matter of fact, once in the face, in the temple. So 50 Cent. That's why you can actually see on his face. That's why he's got that dimple. It actually went in and he opened his mouth, and the bullet actually part of the shell casing lodged in his lower jawbone. So, yeah. And then the rest of them all are on his chest and his arms and on his hands and stuff. He got 9 times, and he actually put tattoos around the bullet wounds and stuff. So
this type of shit. Even though like he scammed them and he deserves it, I still don't want to see him get the shit beat out of him. I don't. I thought, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, it was definitely it was definitely excessive. But I think I was telling you we had got off the air, and I told you about this one guy that I know for a fact he beat this dude up, and he put him. He was out there. This guy had done something. He had done something to him. He was out there in. 3rd Ward out here in my city, and he had done some shit. And dude driving around, he actually saw the guy. He pulled the car over. He was with my buddy Terry and a couple other people. He said, "Hey, stop the car!" And they got out. He whooped this dude's ass and put him in the trunk of the car.
Holy
and then they
shit.
took off driving. So you drove. This is a true story, which is if you read the Fame book, I actually incorporate that into. I was like, this is a true story because he whooped the dude's ass and they put him in the trunk, and then they just got back in the car and drove off.
That's scary. What did they do with them? Drop him off somewhere? Or beat him up more?
He was like, yo, why you got the guy in the trunk? And he was like, don't you worry about it. All right. And that's real. That's real. So so sometimes reactions will happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
reality is fucking scary as shit.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm talking about this dude. They literally pulled the car over, whooped this dude's ass, threw him in the trunk of the car, and drove around with this dude. It was like 4 dudes in the car, and then they had the dude in the trunk, and they were just driving around with him. They just drove around in the car with him for a little while because he had done something and pissed dude off, and he whooped his ass, put him in the trunk, and drove around with him for a little while. It was some real shit. So yeah, so all these guys, man, this guy's on the show all the way to the end.
What's going on right now? Are they getting the team together? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. This is
the lawyers are there. That's right. The lawyer who's fucking everyone. Or is
this is the original team that was set up to investigate the Barksdales, and then obviously including the two drunks. The 2 drunk cops.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't wait till we get to a certain episode. There's something happens that's so funny. Oh my god, when he takes the fall. Oh my god. So funny.
We don't have Sidnor yet. Sidnor, who was actually one of my favorites. Sidnor was there. For some reason, he was shooting something else. They wanted to bring him back for season 2, and they couldn't get him for season. So he was there season 1.
Is that nerd guy that fumbles or who?
No, that's Prez. That's Prez Belusky. Prez Belusky is a big fuck up. And
he finds his specialty.
Yes, and once he actually finds something that he's good at. He's good at the investigating. He's good at solving puzzles. So go down it's like Michael Madsen driving the cop actor in the trunk in a drive.
Oh, I didn't know that for Reservoir Dogs. I didn't know that.
But
wow,
I'm just saying, like I said, that this really happened. Like I said, I know they actually he actually pulled the car over, whooped the dude's ass, put him in the trunk, and they drove around with him for a little while, and then they let him out.
Scary.
I mean, they let him out, but but. They drove a couple of blocks with him in there just to let him know, hey man, don't do that again.
Was this before cell phones? Was this pre-cell phones?
This was more in the beeper day.
I had a beeper for a year or 2, maybe longer. Than
I remember when I had one of the old cell phones. It was like it was a bigger phone, and it was a track phone. You had to put minutes on it because I couldn't afford a monthly service. You couldn't. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You couldn't. I agree. Reservoir Dogs is amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I love Reservoir Dogs.
And this is one of many scenes where you see McNulty and Bunk doing.
Yeah, these two partners. Maybe best friends. Who knows? Who cares? They like each other enough. They understand each other. I'll put it. They understand each other.
Dominic West and Wendell Pierce actually they had such great chemistry on screen, but I don't think they ever worked together in anything else again. They were definitely friends though, because there was actually a Wire director's commentary that Wendell and Dominic did together, and I think it's for season 3 or something. And but they did a director's commentary on one of the
was it good? Like, did they have fun?
Oh, it was fantastic. It just I loved hearing them. But it was Wendell is from New Orleans. That's why he worked with David Simon on the show that he did after The Wire called Treme. And it's set in the Treme area of New Orleans. It's set also Clark Peters that played Lester Freeman. He was on Treme. They had a couple people that were on The Wire that ended up, because obviously, he wanted to use same actors he had worked with.
Okay, 5 years. Antonio, when I was watching this for the first time, I was like, don't mess with her. Don't do it. Don't mess with her. It can't end up well.
I like her, and obviously she ends up.
She's working her game. She's trying.
But I mean, yeah, she hustling though. But I mean, she lands on her feet. So I'm okay.
True. She does.
And she ends up with.
It's just issues for D'Angelo. It's just issues he doesn't need to be dealing with right now, frankly.
What's so crazy? Okay, so obviously D'Angelo sleeping starts. Once he hooks up with her later on.
He has a baby mama too.
That's what I'm saying. He kicks her to the curb though.
Yeah,
that's what's so funny because she's trying to get him to move in with her, and he goes, "Oh man, I got this stripper girl. I'm kicking my baby mama to the curb," and it's amazing. So,
here we find out.
Okay, so this is Kima coming home to her wife, her girlfriend. I don't think they're
girlfriend. Probably, I'm going to assume at the time
they are in a long-term committed relationship.
She's got a nice pad too. This apartment that her girlfriend obviously pays for. Kima's not paying for it on her narcotics salary.
And it's so crazy. You hear about these cops making like $80,000 a year, and you'd be like, oh man, that's not any money. You can't survive on it. But I don't know how much it costs to live in Baltimore or whatever. At least,
it totally depends on where you live.
Like that, $80,000 down here, you can live real comfortable. But I'm not in Baltimore is a bigger city.
$80,000 here with a family, like kids.
With a family, it's a wrap.
Right. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, both parents would need to be working.
Right. Yeah. Both my parents worked.
Yeah,
my mom was the breadwinner in our family.
But you could live down here if you just had like say a wife and 2 kids and you were making $80,000. You could do okay fine down here. Yeah, you could be okay as long as you
could. You have a house, like a small house,
a smaller house. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I'd say. But now, if both parents were working and you were and making like $80,000, you could live real comfortable then. But $80,000 is obviously not that much, depending on your circumstance. This is the first. I don't know how many times. It seemed like the show shot at this location multiple times. Matter of fact, even when they did the second season, even the white kids came down here and stuff.
It's the spot.
Yeah, this is the spot. Because this was hell. McNulty because McNulty and Kima obviously didn't start off quite that, and then they slid. Bunk was working more homicide, and McNulty and Kima just got real tight, and so they were running together.
That kind of care about what's going on, so they connect on that.
So yeah, even though everybody's telling McNulty, "Hey man, you gotta toe the company line and keep your mouth shut," and blah blah blah, and Kima's like, McNulty's right. I'm gonna help him and stuff. That's why it was so crazy in season 5 when she finally turned on McNulty. So she finally said, "Oh damn, I believed in McNulty, but he doing some bullshit now. And I got to turn on him." So it was like, but obviously we got to get to season 5 stuff. So, but
we have a few seasons to get through.
This is obviously episode 1, and this is a beautiful. How did they get? I'm saying, how did they set that up with the train? Because they obviously know the train's coming.
Well,
did they get a train schedule?
About like the crew, either train schedule or they set it up.
Because I mean,
I don't know what the train yard situation is like around Baltimore. I don't know the rail system.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, they specifically look like they set it up to have that train shot there. That's a pickup.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a clear pickup shot, and then you had reaction shots from McNulty. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, how did they set that up? Because I know you can't just, hey, let me rent a train and all right, back the train back up.
Yeah, you can't just use
that would cost a fortune. Because especially these first seasons, I know they talked about they were kind of the show was always on a real tight budget. Everybody, they weren't making, it's not like The Sopranos. The Sopranos at the end was costing like $2-3 million an episode at least to shoot. James
They were making
Gandolfini,
like little mini movies out of each episode there towards the end.
Yeah, at the end, because James Gandolfini got a big raise, and they say he was making like $400,000 or $500,000 an episode at the end.
Oh, that's it. I'm actually surprised it wasn't like $1 million or something
for cable television. That's a lot of money per episode.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
for
like,
cable.
I'm like, cable television, you making like 500 G's an episode.
I'm not saying I wouldn't scoff at it. I'd take it, but that's not Seinfeld money. Jeez.
No, but he's on network television with ads and and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but man, this is. Let me see. In Texas, you used to be okay, even near the city or a nice area with one working family. Not anymore. Yeah, especially not. Yeah, that's one or a parent. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. The way things are now. So now, but this is Landsman busting Bunk's balls because he's a little. He can't get McNulty because McNulty's on the special detail, and
so he just got like a homicide to deal with or something, right?
Yeah, but obviously Bunk doesn't know that the call he just got, even though he wasn't up, is going to investigate the Gant murder. So, and this cop is on the show all the way. He'll be in season 5. Yeah, that's one thing I was like, this dude, he'll be from, he won't be in every episode, but you'll actually see him in season 5.
He pops up every now and then.
Yeah. He's one of the regular cops that you'll see. It's like, that's one thing I loved about The Wire. It feels like sometimes you look at it and it's like, oh man, you watch this guy for 5 years and he grows, and you watch Herc and Carver start out as kind of two fuck up street guys, and then they end up becoming actually decent cops, although Herc ends up not being able to be a cop anymore. But there's D'Angelo. Okay, so there's D'Angelo is realizing.
Just in case we didn't remember.
Yeah,
realizing, or was it D'Angelo that did it?
They talked. I actually heard a director's comment. That's the only time in the entire show that they did that. They never.
That flashback thing.
Yeah, they didn't. Because the other directors did not necessarily like the fact that you have to do a little flashback in there. They feel like if you tell the story the right way, you don't have to do flashbacks.
I agree. I don't like flashbacks. I'm not a real big fan of narration most of the time.
Right.
Like, why tell me something if we can just see it? I can't remember. Did he shoot that guy, or does it turn out that he actually didn't shoot him?
He didn't shoot the guy That's Robert Colesbury, who plays Cole, that you saw at the end credits there. Robert Colesbury, he plays Detective Cole. And they just call him Cole, but he'll die in, I guess, right before season 3 starts shooting. But that's the end. We're at the credits, and that's the end of it. So, there's Nina Kostroff, whatever her name is, that you're going to see her name. She stays on the show. The crew on this show stays pretty much intact. That's one thing I liked. You can tell they had real continuity throughout this entire series because
I don't think people realize that keeping an entire crew together makes such a huge difference for a show.
Especially here's the thing. Because of the way Hollywood works, you're always looking for your next job though. So you're like, okay.
And most people that work behind the scenes are all contract players, a lot of them too.
So they'll have costume designers and stuff that were costume designers, for most of the seasons and all this stuff. Hello, Jeremy. Oh, hi. All right. But yeah, that was a great episode. Like I said, the first episode of Wire, fantastic. So, we got through the whole thing.
It does a good job of setting up the season and who the players are, who we...
Yeah, Bird definitely shot the witness, and then we'll see. Yeah,
because I'm just trying to remember, because D'Angelo talks about his, I think the only murder or 2 murders and it's definitely not that murder. Anyway.
The guy that Gant testified against him on, he actually did shoot that guy.
That's right.
Yeah, he actually that's why they had
trial
to get him
at the beginning of the
with Robert Gant testifying against D'Angelo. he witnessed, he was coming out of the elevator and saw D'Angelo and that guy. And the whole thing, you even hear D'Angelo talk about it later. He was just supposed to go there and get into it, but the guy was messing up. He go in there and confront him. It wasn't supposed to be no violent stuff. And then they struggled and he let that thing off on him. So that's what happened there. And Gant actually was getting off the elevator and he witnessed it and he was like, oh my God, I just witnessed the murder. Yeah. And they tried to talk to him and they said, hey man, you ain't got to say nothing. Don't talk to this police and nothing like that. And for whatever reason, he decided, I must do the right thing. I must testify.
It's like a security guard or something.
Yeah, he was just a security guy.
That makes him more.
Maintenance man. I think they said he was a maintenance man. So
okay,
he was a maintenance man. So yeah,
he was just like a normal. They described he's like a normal working guy with a family and blah.
And
blah,
then
blah.
the black girl that did get paid off, she was like a security person or something. She was
okay.
Yeah, she. But when they started that case, they had 2 eyewitnesses and a state. They had to. They had some
other stuff too. But like the gun or something. They had
I think they had the murder weapon and witness statements from two different people. And so they thought the guy Bowden or whatever, the detective, and that's when McNulty was like, "Hey man, they're beating your murderer." He was like, "Man, I got 2 eyewitness statements and the murder weapon." He's like, "Yeah, there's no way they're getting off." And then obviously she recanted her statement.
Smoothly as well, I might say. They're like, wait, didn't you say? She's like, I did, but it wasn't him. Sorry.
So one thing I'm curious about, Gant is different. I mean, she originally testified when she gave a statement to the police that she saw him leaving, but Gant actually saw the murder, from what I understood.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because
or at least the aftermath of it, like.
Yeah.
Like them standing over the body or something.
You actually hear D'Angelo in this episode saying that he got off the or is it this episode or the next episode? He's talking to his uncle. And
it might be the next episode.
I think it's the next. Yeah, I think it's the next episode when he writes the statement to his family and everything. But he tells his uncle, he's like, man, he just was getting off. He was wrong place, wrong time. He got off the elevator when all that stuff was going on. So I guess either he had already popped him. And then Gant got off the elevator.
Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm remembering this wrong. Was it something about D'Angelo got there later or something, or it was like the wrong time? Like D'Angelo.
You're talking about the Weebay murder.
Okay,
about the Weebay murder. Okay, so you're talking about which I can't wait till we get to that because that was a great reveal when they finally arrested D'Angelo at the end and he was about to flip on the whole family, and he goes, "They played me," because they just wanted him to, he's safe. The girl that Avon was messing with that was threatening to go to the police on him, she always saw D as someone that was safe. She know he's not about that life. Right. Even when he's carrying a gun, he's not really a gangster. He's carrying a gun because he's a Barksdale. It's like, hey, you don't want to be you don't want to be one of Michael Jordan's kids and wearing Reebok. You got to wear Jordans. You got, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so you're Barksdale, you carry a weapon. So this is what it is. He's not really about that. So when they do the tap, tap, tap thing.
Yeah.
And then that's Weebay. Weebay a hitter. That's what he do. I mean, what did Proposition Joe say? You got more bodies on him than a Chinese cemetery or whatever. It's like that kind of thing. So it's like Weebay, Snoop, Chris Partlow. You got a couple of guys. Even Bird was definitely a hitter. Played by what's his name? That's not Sticky Fingers from it. He was what's the guy's name? Because Sticky Fingers was what was the Slam da 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 da. Let the boys. But in that, but him and Sticky Fingers were in that group because I'm trying to remember. Oh, Fredro Starr, that's him. So Fredro. So that Bird is played by Fredro. And I remember him going. He was on Moesha later on and stuff. And
oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that show in years.
Yeah, he was.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Does she do anything these days? Brandy?
I think she's on kids.
She had kids or something.
Yeah, she actually a couple of kids from different because I know they did a reality show when she was pregnant with the first one, and she broke up. But I think she was on Love and Hip Hop. I know Ray J was on Love and Hip Hop too. Her brother, Ray J, was on Love and Hip Hop. You know, I didn't know they were Snoop's cousins. I didn't know they was.
Oh my God, Snoop has a lot of cousins. Just Sasha Banks is his cousin.
Sasha Banks is Snoop's cousin. Yes, Sasha Banks is Snoop's cousin, and then Ray J and Brandy Norwood, they're both his cousins, and then so that's what it is. So Fredro Starr, yeah.
Hey, you know someone in the biz, it's a lot easier to get into it.
Yeah. So, but I love, like I said, so we've set up, so the target, we've set up episode 1 sets everything off perfectly. And so now
they're going after the Barksdales. They don't know what's his name Barksdale even looks like.
They still don't quite have the crew right yet, though, because we don't have Sn1 yet. So
or their space where they're gonna end up kind of hanging out for this season.
Matter of fact, we didn't get Lester Freeman in this episode. We did not see Clark Peters yet. Which it's weird because you kind of think, oh, he was always there. And you go back and watch the episode and you kind of realize, oh, wait a minute, Clark Peters wasn't there. So what we got was Wendell Pierce as Bunk. We got Dominic West as McNulty. We got was it Lee Daniels as Lee? Oh, what's his name? Something. The guy that played Lieutenant Daniels. I think his name was Lee Daniels. Look him up. Lee something, I thought. But we got the guy that played Lieutenant Daniels. We got Hurricane Carver, Dominic Larbadozi, and Seth Gillum. And then we got Kima, who is
Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick. Okay, so yeah, we got Lance Reddick. We got Dee Dee Lovejoy, who played
she's the attorney.
The attorney, Rhonda Perlman. We obviously got Wood Harris as Avon Barksdale. We got Idris Elba as Stringer Bell. John Doman as Major Rawls. And then we got Frankie Faison as, what was he? I'm trying to remember, was he Colonel or whatever?
Oh, and we still have yet to meet Omar this season.
Yeah, no, Omar doesn't come in. I think he doesn't come until episode 3, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say an episode or 2, he's going to show up.
Yeah, we're not going to get Omar until episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen every episode of The Wire at least 10 times.
Really? Wow.
And I watch every episode once a year. At least I'll go and here's the thing. So I'm sitting at this table, so I've been packing, right? So I packed some last night, get here. And so a lot of times I'll just, I'll throw on The Wire, I'll throw on The Sopranos, I'll throw on Game of Thrones.
Something you've seen before. So
and I'll just let it, it's in the background and, and because I'm already so familiar with it and it's just comforting, So I like to do that. So, but we don't get Clark Peters as Lester Freeman, I think, until the next episode, because I remember McNulty and Bunk having that conversation. And he's like, oh man, this is a fuck up unit. We're getting drunk.
He comes with the crew of misfits, the other 2 old white cops, and then
the 2 drunk cops.
Yeah,
and they remember. They sent Freeman. They sent Cool Lester Smooth. They sent him to the pawn shop unit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it was Rawls when he tells that story. I think it was in
towards the end of the season.
Yeah, in the season. And then there was in season 5 when they're doing the serial killer angle. The guy that played Gordon on Sesame Street. He does. He plays. He plays Lester's. But because I remember him, there was a pimp movie he was in.
Really?
There was a pimp movie he played a pimp.
That's awesome.
TJ or somebody in the chat. What was that pimp movie that dude from Sesame Street played in? It's not the Mac. It's not the Mac. I'm trying to remember. Because I remember he played a pimp, and then he ended up being Gordon on Sesame Street. It's just like I could not. Oh man. Oh yeah, Lance Reddick. He's in the John Wick. Yeah. Which I know I don't know when they're supposed to start shooting episode 4 because I was waiting. They're supposed to be doing episode 4.
Roscoe Orman. Let me go down.
Yes, that's him. Okay.
Oh, he's also in an episode of a lot of different. Oh, All My Children. Kojak.
Kojak, yeah,
but I'm looking for a movie.
But it was a pimp. It's like, damn, what was it? It's because it's not the Mac. I've seen the Mac. Well, I saw the movie with him playing the pimp too. But damn, look at his.
Wait, is this like from the 70s? Like
it's from the 70s.
Willie Dynamite.
Willie Dynamite. Willie D. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Willie Dynamite.
Willie.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, Willie Dynamite. So yeah, he played Willie Dynamite. Willie D. Because the Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, he would often sample that song that they played from Willie Dynamite because he called himself Willie D. So he went Willie D. But yeah, he played Willie Dynamite, and then he ended up on Sesame Street. Just like I remember I was talking to somebody about Morgan Freeman, and they did not know that him and Rita Moreno used to be on the Electric Company when I was a kid. They were both on the Electric Company when I was a little boy. Spider-Man, nobody knows who you are. It was like, Morgan Freeman. That's why I saw it. And then watch Morgan Freeman in Streets of Gold where he played the pimp.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God. It's Christopher Reeve. Streets
of Gold?
Yeah. It's called Streets of Gold. And if I'm not mistaken, Morgan Freeman actually got nominated for an Oscar for that. He's like, bitch, this is my tits, my ass. He was a stone cold hitter pimp. He was a hardcore pimp.
Wesley Snipes. Whew. Is that the right movie? Is this the right movie?
But
the dad from Frasier? Am I looking at the right movie?
Streets of Gold?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure. I may have called it. Let me see. Hold up.
Wesley Snipes.
Streets.
And somebody by the name of Rainbow Harvest. And John Maloney. You might be thinking of a different movie.
Yeah, I might got to hold on. Maybe I'm pulling it up. Let me see. Is it Mean Street? No, Street Smart. Okay, hold on. Let me look.
Something with Street. Who are we talking about again?
I'm trying to make sure. Okay.
No, but what actor are we talking about?
Okay, I'm looking. Okay. It's called Street Smart. That's what it's called. It's got Christopher Reeve, and Christopher Reeve is like
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yeah. So it's called Street Smart. Okay, so I
got Mimi Rogers is in it as well.
Oh yeah, is that when she was married to Tom Cruise? Because she was married to Tom Cruise for like 2 years.
Let's see. This came out in 87. I don't know when they were married. If it was in the 80s or the 90s.
Yeah. That's the character. The character. The guy Gordon. What do you say his name? What Omar? What's his last? The actor's name that played Gordon.
Shit.
I'm like, Street. But watch Street Smart with Morgan Freeman. Watch him play that pimp character, boy.
Roscoe Orman. That's Gordon. Fine. Gordon is Roscoe Orman.
Roscoe Orman. Okay, so
Orman, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, but in Willie Dynamite, and this is let me see. But yeah, his character and Lester had been partners, and apparently he pissed Rawls off too, because they all, whenever somebody gets shit canned, you go, so who is the commander? Some guy named some asshole named Rawls. It was like Rawls. It was like they always just seem like they, if someone is doing work that they shouldn't be doing. And so what was it? Where Freeman said, what was it? 13 years and 4 months. He knew exactly how long he had been in the pawn shop unit. Just making his little doll furniture and stuff.
Yeah, his miniatures.
His little, and like Buck told McNulty, he said, hey man, he make more, and you really can. I've seen some of those little collectible furniture stuff, the little doll furnitures and stuff. That shit for sale on eBay.
That's specialty shit. Yeah,
that stuff
it's artisan.
It's cheaper to buy a real couch than some little thing. You talking about like a little what do they call those little foyers or whatever? The little armoires or whatever. Those
Yeah.
little, and I'm like, it'd be like $75 for one of those or something. You know what I'd be like? But it's handcrafted and hand stitched and all this kind of stuff. I was like, damn, it's in a dollhouse, and you often.
I had a dollhouse when I was younger, but not a fancy one like that.
Yeah, I mean,
really expensive.
But I mean, you see him just sitting at his desk, and he's sitting there with the magnifying. He's making sure he's got, he's sculpting and doing all that. And so that's one thing I liked about Lester's character, because he was like, I'm just cataloging stuff in the pawn shop unit. So I might as well, since they're gonna shit can me, I might as well sit here and make my little dolls and stuff.
Yeah, he's obviously not getting in trouble for it. No one gives a shit. So
yeah, because he was put there for doing police work.
Right, exactly. So
that's the funniest thing. Okay, because there's a couple of strong moments where you see Clark Peters really shine. Mm-hmm. One is, like I said, he'll be introduced in the next. So we'll do when we do the second episode. When we watch the second episode of The Wire, we'll obviously see Lester come in, and he'll just be sitting there listening to McNulty and Kima, and he'll pick up that little clue because they don't know what. Remember, they send the two drunk white cops out, and they're trying to find a picture of Avon.
Yeah, they're like, here, this is.
And they bring a picture of a white guy back.
Yeah.
In the housing project. Yeah, he's like, this is the only Avon Barksdale.
They're like, seriously, you assholes, do your fucking job.
I was like, they just put a white guy's thing. And it was like, here, this is him. And I was like, it's clear that the Barksdales are black. D'Angelo Barksdale is black, and these two idiots bring this picture of this old white guy. He's like,
that was the picture on file. They are going to do no more than the bare minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? The one cop, they bring him back in, I think it's in season 4 or 5. You actually see Lester go, and he sobered up and everything.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
One fell down the stairs. The one that the one that got beat up by the cop, they got beat up by Bodie and all them. They retired him. He got to take 2/3 of his pension,
and he was happy to do it.
Yeah. He was like, I ain't got to go work no more. I'm cool. And so they were trying to get the other, and Daniels was like, look, you gonna go out there and kick doors with us, or you can go on medical and get yourself sober. And he was like, all right. And so he sobered up. So a couple seasons later, Daniels has I guess he's Colonel Dan. Carcetti was getting ready to promote him to the police commissioner. And he had to go and look up some evidence or whatever. And the guy, he's sobered up, and this is where he's at. He's in the evidence locker or whatever. He's running that, and he's sobered up. And he was like, hey man, I'm glad to see that you landed on your foot. And I love that they did, because if you hadn't been watching The Wire, if you watch The Wire from the first season and you get to that, you're like, that's the drunk dude. And so they have little moments like that, and you go, it's like when they go into the gay bar and you see Daniels in there in the gay bar. Not Daniels, you see Major Rawls in there, and you realize, oh. Even though Rawls is married. Rawls talks about his wife all the time, right? So, but they do that thing where Brother Mouzon is trying to locate Omar, and they go and he keeps sending his assistant Lamar into all these bars, and then when he goes in there, you see Rawls is in there in the gay bar kicking it with some fellas, and you go, Rawls is, and they never mention it again. It was just like Rawls is in there with the gay dudes, and then they just move on. Yeah, and they never mention it again. And it's like
everyone has their secrets.
Yeah, it was just like it had nothing to do with the plot. It was just like, oh, he's at the gay bar, boom, and they never mentioned it again. I like that they do stuff like that. I thought that was cool. So that worked out.
Building and world building.
Yeah, it was just like because a lot of people. Yeah, because I've talked with there's all these Wire groups and everything, and they were like, so what about why didn't they never develop the fact that Rawls is gay? And I remember hearing some of the producers talk about, they were like, was Ross gay or was he just at the gay bar hanging out? And I'm like, come on, man.
Maybe he was working
the way Ross's character, Ross, you know, anybody missed the fact Ross dropped the N-bomb in the first episode. He's like, he said, you're busting my balls over some dead N-word, blah, blah, blah. You know, he dropped the N-bomb. So I'm like, Ross is typical, supposed to be butch alpha male type, right? And so see him sitting there and having drinks in this gay bar, that's them going, oh, he's living a secret double life. I thought that was kind of cool though, but they never picked up on it. That was never, I just, you know, you just saw something that you weren't supposed to see, and then they just never mentioned it again.
Yeah, it informs the character, but it's not, we don't need to delve into it. It is cool.
Yeah, I always enjoyed it. I was like, because I remember that was a shocking moment. I remember going in the forums and they were like, so Ross is gay? Oh my, if he were like tripping out over it and everything, and they thought it was a plot point, and they never talked about it again. It never got brought up. They never talked about his personal life.
Mentions it or anything.
It still was like, well, they didn't see him. They never saw him. Really, because like Lamar went in there and
what season is this?
I think it's season 3.
Okay, so I may not have seen this yet.
So season 3, they go in, he goes into the gay bar. Well, he went into several gay bars, and he was trying, and that's one thing you start noticing. Omar always has a different boyfriend every season.
Yes, I was going to talk about that, but we haven't got to Omar yet.
Omar,
he's like cuddling up on, or
Omar switches boyfriends every year. So he got because obviously Brandon is his boyfriend in the first season, and then Brandon, obviously Bird and the others get to Brandon. He goes down. And then I can't remember the other dude's name. The dude from the second, he was in season 2 and season 3. But when Brother Muzone beat him up and got information on Omar, after that, Omar, it seemed like Omar didn't trust him because he was like, it was like when Brandon was like, I messed up and I said your name. And he was like, oh, baby, don't worry. Omar don't scare. Omar's name is out.
I thought he was going to beat his ass or something.
Yeah, and because Brandon was like, I slipped up and I said your name. And then, so, you know, Omar forgave Brandon.
Yeah.
But it seemed like I kind of, even though they didn't really touch on it, I kind of felt like when Brother Muzone gave the boyfriend back, they had been, you know, Lamar had him, they had beat him up and everything to get the information on but I remember Omar even said, ain't put sugar water in those veins. You know, it's like he was like he didn't just give it up. We had to really rough him up to get. And then Omar looked at him. He said, "Ain't all but sugar water running in those veins." So he was like, "Yeah, he broke him, but he was tough."
Yeah.
So he made sure Muzone let him know that. And then, you know, he gave him the weapons. He said, "This being your city, I trust you to do it proper." And he gave him the murder weapons where they had killed. You know, they caught up with later on. They caught up with Stringer and handled him. You know, when they did that thing. But Brother Muzone was my favorite. Like when he came in on season 2, I was like, yo, Brother Muzone is dope. I've seen that actor on a few things too. But like I said, I like the fact that they just kind of throw something out there and then it's not part of the plot. It's just like, oh, this is just information that you can have, and then we just move on. They don't, it's not part of the episode. It was just like, okay, so Lamar is going around saying homophobic things, trying to get hopefully to find Omar or someone that is connected to Omar that will let him know. He's like, look, I'm trying to find Omar. I don't want to be in here with y'all. You know, he's saying all that because even Brother Muzone, he said, Lamar, you're the perfect person for this because your homophobia is so visceral. And Lamar is like, yo, man, what are you trying to say? You know, he was getting all upset and everything. It was crazy. So I just love the whole thing with the dynamic between Brother Muzone and Lamar. And you know, like I said, it's I really love this. There's some every season I have good memories. I can't think of any of the seasons where I was just like, okay, like I said, I ranked them, and I'll rank again for The Wire. So like I say, season 1 is my favorite because that's Avon in his prime, that's Stringer Bell in his prime. You know, they're still on top of the towers. They got, you know, they running everything, right?
Yeah, so, and there's symmetry. It's a good season.
Yeah, so season 1 is my all-time favorite. Season 3 is my next favorite. And then season 4, and real close to season, you know, and neck and neck. Season 4 and season 2 are real close. If I really hate to, but I had to pick one over the other. Yeah. I say
season 5 is your least favorite.
Season 5 is because that's what I'm saying. You know, when we right at the beginning of the stream, we were talking about each season has a theme.
Yeah.
So,
do you think it went too long? The show, like, should it have stopped at the 4th season?
That's an interesting question because some people are like, I wish they hadn't done season 5 because season 5 was talking about the media, the press. But when you go back and watch season 5 now, it's very relevant what they're saying, especially that reporter making up shit and then not getting caught. And then even when the guy, because that's why I was telling Clark Johnson that directed the episode, he directed episode 1. He directed several episodes of The Wire, as I mentioned. But Clark Johnson, who used to be on Homicide: Life of the Streets, he plays the reporter in season 5, the one that catches the other guy doing shady shit and tries to at least call him. And then his bosses are like, hey man, we feel he can tell that this guy's full of shit and he's like fudging his notes and stuff like that. He's like, something don't smell right with this. His quotes are too perfect and he never has full sources and everything. And his boss is like, we feel comfortable. That's another guy. Season 5 is also brings one of the reporters. He's one of the managing editors in the room. He ended up going on Breaking Bad. He's the guy that Gus Fring brings in to so that Heisenberg can teach him his cooking formula so that he can kill him. And then
I'm one of those strange people that's never watched Breaking Bad.
Oh man, yeah. So this is the first time I saw him on television. The guy, I can't remember his name, but he's on Billions now. That guy, he's went. So
there's so many shows I don't even know that they exist.
So yeah, he went from The Wire. He went from The Wire to Breaking Bad, and then I saw him, and now he's on Billions. All
what
three
is that?
shows.
Is that a network show?
Billions is on Showtime.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't know it.
Billions is on Showtime. Like I said, he went from A+ show to A+ show to A+ show. So he went from The Wire to Breaking Bad to Billions. All three just exceptional shows. And like I said, so there are so many people. Obviously, like I said, we saw Michael B. Jordan there. There are so many people that just end up, Wendell Pierce is a brilliant actor, and Clark Peters is a brilliant actor. Dominic West is a brilliant actor. John Doman is a brilliant actor. There's just so many.
Everybody's great in it.
Lance Reddick, and there's just so many people on The Wire that are just incredible.
There isn't anybody that like stands out. It's like, oh, but what? This sucks. This acting sucks. It's just a good show all around.
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull it. Yeah. Go down. The nerdy guy. Yeah, he's in season 5 of The Wire. He's one of the guys where Clark Johnson's character is like, hey, I don't feel comfortable allowing this article to run because he doesn't, his quotes and everything. And then they were like, oh no, we're gonna come. And matter of fact, when you watch the final episode of The Wire, which is called 30, which is a print. They explain why they called it 30. It's apparently a print term or something. It's something like when you
like media related.
Yeah, because David Simon used to work for the Baltimore Sun. So they actually went to the Baltimore Sun. A lot of the people that they used in the final season of The Wire, the reporter people were old reporters that he used to work with at the Baltimore Sun. There were real reporters there in that, so he really loved that season. But a lot of people was like, oh, they're doing the damn reporter angle, so it was a little bit more boring. I still liked it, but like I said, they got a little funky with season 5. Like I said, you got the serial killer angle, the serial killer angle, and they end up letting this guy get a Pulitzer for faking the guy that was bullshitting. He faked it with the they gave him and the two editor guys that shut Clark Johnson's down. And matter of fact, he got demoted. If you saw it, he actually got demoted. He was trying because he was like, hey, this guy's like making shit up. And they actually
go away, shut up.
They actually demoted him for trying to do his job. He actually got
just
demoted.
Like the cop. That seems to be a theme.
So that's actually kind of strange when you watch The Wire. He actually was like, hey, I have reason to suspect that this guy is full of shit. And matter of fact, he brought someone else in to fact check some of his older stories that had saw print. And he was like, he brought a buddy of his in from another paper, and they got checked. He said, man, I'm crossed. This guy's full of shit. And he said, quotes are perfect. And all. And he was like, he said, something don't smell it. So he started going every time. And then this dude's like, it's in my notes. And he's getting all upset and everything because he's getting called out for putting this bullshit out there. And the dude's like, something ain't right about it. And then the two editor guys are like, hey, this guy's they were looking at it. They were getting to go on like CNN. His Scotty, whatever his name. I can't remember his character's name, but he was actually getting to get on cable television. So they were like, hey, we got to ride this horse until the wheels fall off because he's able to get us on cable television. And it's very prestigious for us. His coverage of the serial killer is helping us. It's getting us pressed that the paper sales are down, but when he writes about the serial killer, we sell papers.
Yeah.
And he gets to go on television and all this kind of stuff. So this is something that, they decided, even though there were a few problems here and there, they said, I think what the one guy said, I think we're on terra firma here. Like, even though he's pointing out to him, he's like, hey, this guy's his notes and everything, it's all bullshit. Because he had his little pad with the notes, and he gave it to the one Spanish chick, and she opened the book up, and he barely had any notes. And
I don't remember any of these details.
Oh yeah, no, you don't understand how many times I watched The Wire. I love The Wire.
Oh, I understand at this point.
So yeah, so she opened it. She was like, he kept saying it's in my notes. And she's like, I opened his book up and he didn't, it was like, there was nothing in there. He keeps walking around with this damn notebook like he's got notes, and it's like everything's complete bullshit. And like I said, when you see the closing, every season they have the musical close where it kind of fast tracks and goes through everybody's life. You see where McNulty is, you see where so season 5, episode 10, you see them going through, and they give this jackass a damn Pulitzer, and he completely made up the whole. And the two guys from the newspaper that backed him, they're sitting there shaking hands and like, congratulations, this is great. They're taking all these photos and everything. Yeah. So I'm like, is this prick ever gonna get exposed for writing all this bullshit? Because
probably not.
Remember, the cops did cover up the serial killer thing. They covered it up, so the serial killer's real. Remember, once they realized, Carcetti realized that the serial killer was made up, but he wanted to be the governor. So he was like, oh my God, because he was using the serial killer to nail the governor for not defund, for Baltimore needed money. And they were having to pull from the city schools, and the cops didn't have money. And so all of a sudden he was like, I can use this to bang on the governor because I'm going to run against him next year in the election year. Because he was a one-term mayor. And so he was like, I can bang on this dude for defunding the city of Baltimore, and that's going to play statewide, and then that'll help me get my profile up when I run against him for the governor. So, he's a Democrat, and the guy in office was a Republican, and he was like, yeah. He said, I'll be able to beat him. And then he found out that the serial killer was bullshit, and they talked to Rawls and they talked to Daniels, and Daniels was like, no, this is bullshit. We got to expose what happened. We got to expose Lester Freeman. We got to expose McNulty. Everybody that was in on this has got to go. And they were, and so they talked to Rawls, and Rawls was like, "Hey, Mayor, I'm your Huckleberry. If you want me to keep this thing, shut it down, I'll shut it down for you. And all you have to do is just let me finish my term out where I get a pay." So he was just, it's all, I started noticing as these guys get older, it's all about the pension. It's like, oh, okay, so let me get promoted so that when I leave this job, I'll get my pension at this salary bracket.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm the chief of ops, right? Because he went from being a deputy ops to he's actually the police commissioner. So he's like, oh, okay, so now I've got enough to retire, and I'll retire and I'll draw a commissioner's salary for the rest of my days. And then if you watch the musical credits at the end, when Carcetti ends up beating the governor and becoming the new governor, they call him up and make him the chief of police, the chief of the state police or whatever. He becomes the Maryland State Police.
You realize we're on episode 1, right, Antonio?
Yes, but I'm just going through and all this. I'm just saying the tapestry of how everything.
Talking about the last scene of the whole show.
But the reason I mention it is because of the Clark Johnson, and you see things in episode 1, and then they end up even in the final seasons. That's why I'm saying. So it was like it threw me off. It's like how everything's connected. And they actually,
cool. I love that sort of stuff. I love that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I loved it. I was like, man. So you see things all throughout the season. Just like I said, when they go in the evidence room and they see that, that's the drunk cop from season 1, and you're just like, he's like, hey, I'm glad you landed on your feet and everything. And you also see obviously that Daniels has married Rhonda Perlman, and she's a judge now, and all this kind of. So the whole thing, I was like, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's like there's so much good shit coming up. But let me get the rest of these things in the chat. So I am fanboying. This is the Wire is my favorite.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm definitely fan. I'm
that's always allowed.
So, yeah. So let me see. Okay, so let me get you. Eclect 3. I think that's it. Eclect 313. Sorry to be on top of a brand. Was good. I apologize for worrying about it, Mr. Whitekill. Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's see. Yeah, Dane saw him in the evidence room. Okay, let me see here. Always like the idea of seeing a character early before they are fully established. Kind of like seeing a drunk only to realize he's a cop or something later on. Interesting, yeah. But no, I loved. I like I said, the Wire is a masterpiece, and I keep seeing. I'll see all these little articles will pop up on my Google. What's the best show of all time? Is The Wire the best, or is Breaking Bad the best? That kind of thing. So it's like The Wire and Breaking Bad always, because I think the way the Breaking Bad tells stories is different from the way The Wire tells stories, but they're both exceptional. I think Breaking Bad is exceptional. It's incredible television. And so
maybe I'll someday watch it. It's been so long at this point that it's like I've just never gone back to it. And now it's like I'm one of the only people that haven't seen it. So
and I can't remember what's the name of the actor that plays
Bryan Cranston.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. Because there was an article I just read a couple of days. That the producers what's the guy?
He was the dentist on Seinfeld. That anti-dentite.
Yes. Yeah.
Several other episodes.
Where Seinfeld's like, I think he's like feeling me up or something. Or
there's also one where he's like, Jerry thinks he converted to Judaism for the jokes.
Yeah, we can tell Jewish jokes and stuff. Oh god, that stuff is hilarious.
Yeah,
but that's where I first saw it. He was the dentist on Seinfeld, but then Malcolm in the Middle, obviously. So
of course,
Malcolm in the Middle. But they almost didn't give him the part because they were like, we don't want this character to be kind of jokey and stuff, and they wanted it to be seen as a serious thing. So at that point, they were like, but then he auditioned, and they were like, this is the guy.
He's a good actor. Yeah.
Yeah, he can.
Malcolm in the Middle is just, it's what pays for the rest of his life, like for where he lives now, I'm sure, and his family. So it was a gig.
Yeah.
But he's a good actor.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of times you see sometimes it was weird sometimes when I'd watch Robin Williams in movies like Good Will Hunting and stuff, like when he's more serious.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting and what was the other one?
Do you remember that one, What Dreams Are Made Of?
Yeah, I remember that. I'm trying to remember not Remains of it. Damn, what was the one? No, the one where they say Dead Poet Society.
Oh, of course, Dead Poet.
He got nominated for an Oscar for that, and he was brilliant in that. Dead Poet Society, he was incredible in that.
I remember seeing that in the movie theater when I was a kid.
And Ethan Hawke was so young in that. Like, so you get Ethan, but you see Robert, obviously he had a couple of things where he was kind of being funny, but the performance was more serious, and he's talking about Shakespeare and all this kind of, so the whole thing. So I just thought it was Robin Williams really showed such range in that. And you saw some of that like in Hook, where he's like, when he's Peter Pan, he's being real exuberant, and then then he's got to be the straight, he's being the stiff lawyer.
Peter Panning.
Yeah, and but like there's a reason his kids are mad at him and stuff, because he's like, yeah, I gotta work, and do all this. So he's not Peter Pan anymore.
No fun, yeah.
Yeah, he's not, well, he's like, so he's
Bangarang, God,
he's doing the whole thing. So I just thought Robin Williams could, matter of fact, The World According to Garth, I think is Garth. Okay, The World According to Garth. So that he was very serious in that. I mean, it's like, so man, and that's John Lithgow's in that. I remember he's in
Perry Mason, Antonio.
Yeah, I saw him. He's like the judge. I saw him in the trailer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He's the lawyer that hires Perry.
Oh, he's a lawyer. Okay, I thought he was a judge or something, but I remember him. What was my favorite? One of my favorite John Lithgow movies is Raising Cain.
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh, so you have seen it though, where he's the guy with the split personalities and everything.
A long time ago.
Because we have to talk about John Lithgow when we do the worst ending ever part 2. I don't know, we got to figure out when we're going to do that.
Yeah, we got to.
Because he played the Trinity killer in Dexter.
Oh, okay. That's right.
They had a different.
I actually did watch that season. Yeah,
because the season before was Edward James Olmos, and it was Edward James Olmos and Colin Hanks.
Don't know.
And then he had 2 series. So he was dealing with all this kind of thing. Hold up. You watched Perry Mason. Did you, because TJ Swan's saying
I haven't finished it yet. I'm on the last 2 episodes, but I enjoyed it. I like those kind of shows.
I know that trailer looks amazing. I'm definitely going to watch it. I want the whole thing to be, because I got to be honest, that's one thing about these streaming services and everything. Yeah. They make it where I can't watch regular television now. I need the whole season to be over so I can sit there and stream the whole thing. Because one thing,
like Yul and I can't do usually, like especially for hour-long shows, like 2 episodes a night is pretty good, because you start kind of not enjoying it, or you forget kind of what you saw, and you don't absorb it as well.
Sometimes I watch 4 or 5 episodes at once.
Yeah, I try not to do that. At least with stuff I watch with Yul, like
that's how I was getting into Orange Is the New Black. I would just sit there and go, the animal, trap, the cage is full. All the, it was like.
And I never saw it.
You ever watch Orange Is the New Black?
No.
Oh my God, those first couple seasons are fantastic. It got a little strange.
Is it a comedy or not? Or a drama?
It's a dramedy, I'd say, because it was based on.
Oz is too much for me. Like
Oz is hardcore.
It's too much for me.
Oz is hardcore
in general.
But no, Orange Is New Black. Here's the thing: everybody forgets that chick that wrote the book. She was only in jail for like a year and a half. She wasn't in jail, and this show has ran, for what, 7 years now. So
is it still on the air?
I know they just had the last season. I think that's the end of it. I think it's the end of it, but they could probably bring it back because they're stringing it out. I was like, this bitch has been in jail. The real person, she was only in jail for about 18 months.
Huh.
And for the drugs, so she got out and did her thing. So but the show, she's in jail, and even when she's supposed to get out, she has to stay, and it's just long and long and long. And she's not ever gonna, so it's like that kind of thing. So, Let me see what Go Die. I think he had Breaking Bad tells disconnected stories from what I can tell with the shifting right. Yeah, and it's more episodic television.
I'm not against episodic TV. I'm not totally against that. Like Yule was upset at first because Perry Mason wasn't episodic.
And it's telling an overall story.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
fine.
But yeah, so that's I agree with. But I think Breaking Bad has a overall story, but they have like that episode with the fly episode, which I did not know was directed by Rian Johnson that directed Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So Rian Johnson actually, and that's whenever they rank like top 10 episodes of Breaking Bad, that episode's always that where they're chasing the fly around. That episode always is in the top 5 or top. It's generally ends up in at least the top 2, top 3 favorite episodes of Breaking Bad. That episode, and that was directed by Rian, and that's a great episode. He did a good job, so I had to give him credit for that, even though his understanding of Star Wars is shit.
Yeah, that's a different topic, different. Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's like he just but he just didn't. It was different, but you would see different episodes. Like like when Bryan Cranston's character found the chick, oh boy's girl OD'd, and he decides to, should I help her? But he needed to, to let her die. So he just goes, instead of helping her, he lets her die. And then the whole thing's weird.
I don't know any of this. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. See, we'd have to go through it. So maybe when we get done with this, we'll do
maybe. I tried to do the first episode once and I kind of couldn't get through it. Like the scene at the kitchen table at breakfast, I was like, I can't.
Yeah, so I don't know, because like I said, I actually wanted to go through and like do like Game of Thrones. Although
we already have a whole list. It has to go at the bottom of the list for sure.
Oh no, go down! You didn't like the Fly episode? I thought the Fly episode was great. And then let me see. Isadora Walker said it fell off after season 2, but Oz, I have a hard time watching Farmer Insurance. Oh no!
Right, somebody in that who's in the Farmers Insurance commercials.
Well, I'm trying to. Because the guy that's the farmer guy, Vern Schillinger, the Nazi
bald guy from Law and Order that played Skoda, the psychologist. That's I knew. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Vern Schillinger. Yeah, he did end up going on. Well, I mean, he's an Oscar winner now, but yeah, as Vern Schillinger on Oz, that dude was very convincing in that role.
My dad loved that show. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces because he'd be like, "Watch this part."
So yeah, it's like okay. As soon as
and Luke Perry was in that too. He was a priest. He gets like put in a wall or something.
Yeah. They try to act like he had a rapture moment and God floated him up, and then a couple seasons later they were like remodeling. They opened a wall up and found out that he got murdered and they buried him in the wall alive or whatever. That's all that happened. They try to act like he was like, oh, Jesus floated him out, but somebody had a vision and saw him or whatever. Later on, it was crazy. But she just wants to say, I like Billions and The Chi and Black Monday, but they all have gone woke. I've heard the Chi. Matter of fact, the guy that was in the NWA movie, he got fired from the Chi, and they said that the reason he got fired from the Chi was because they were trying to get him to have a transgender love interest, and then he did not want to go along with that storyline, and they got rid of him, and they brought that guy in from the New Edition movie that played Johnny Gill, and he's apparently cool with being in a relationship with a transgender actor.
Well, it's an acting gig. It's not really in one.
Yeah, well, the other guy didn't apparently had a problem with the storyline and everything, so he wasn't cool with it. So most
actors are whores; they'll do anything. So.
Yeah. So
I don't judge them for it. Not for that anyway.
Yeah, Breaking. But like I said, Breaking Bad is incredible. I love Breaking Bad, but matter of fact, I cannot wait for Better Call Saul. I cannot wait for Better Call Saul.
The only thing that would make me want to watch Breaking Bad is because of Better Call Saul, because I like Bob Odenkirk.
So you watched Better Call Saul?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, Better Call Saul is incredible. I got through all of season 5. They're saying they're going to do season 6 like they did the last season of Breaking Bad and break it into 2 parts. I just don't know how, because some places aren't, they aren't shooting like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not able to shoot. And so that's why a lot of these movies and stuff are getting postponed into, because they've got the Fast and the Furious movie. It was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out in the summer. And then they said, okay, it'll come out like in, like.
Haven't they made enough?
They got 2 more to go.
Two more?
Yeah, there's 2 more.
I don't think I've ever even seen the first one.
But yeah, 9, we introduce John Cena as Dominic's brother. And
that does not sweeten the deal for me.
So you bring John Cena in, and then movie 10 will be the final one.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I love Black Sails.
I watched a couple episodes of it, and then I never went back.
Badass. I love Black. Black Sails is incredible. I really thought it was. So
really it's worth sticking with, worth watching.
What's that guy? His Toby. I can't remember his last name, but I didn't know his mother is the chick from Harry Potter. The head mistress. She's like the head witch in Harry Potter or whatever at the school.
McGonagall. Maggie Smith?
Yeah. That's his mom. The dude is the captain.
I don't remember any of the actors in Black Sails.
That's his mom. That's his mom. Yeah, Maggie Smith is his mom. I did not know that. I was like, oh shit. I did not know that. But Black Sails is incredible.
Maybe I'll go back to that. I think I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting what they were doing. They were taking Treasure Island and then they were doing a backstory on it. So you see Long John Silver before he's Long John Silver,
right,
and all this kind of thing. They take real things that actually happened in those islands at the time, and I was like, Black Sails. The way it ended was. Don't
tell me how it ends. Don't tell me how it ends.
No, I don't want to tell you how it ended, but I think you should.
Actually, I don't care about spoilers.
No, I don't want to ruin it because there might be someone here listening that hadn't watched it, and I'm like, hey, check it out. I highly recommend Black Sails.
Mm-hmm.
Black Sails was incredible. So yeah, TJ Swan loved it. It was incredible. Let me see. I go down. Breaking Bad, more like Breaking Ball. Yeah, well, that. But like I said, there's more.
That is not making me want to watch Breaking Bad.
Let's see. Well, I enjoyed it. Let's see when it hit me that it was Treasure Island, I was like, what the? Yeah, because I did not realize that was the premise of the show. That they were, you meet this.
You just think it's like a bloody pirate show.
But they were showing the trailers and everything.
Yeah.
Because it was like at the time when they first started showing the trailer on Stars, it was the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were all making like $300-400 million. And I was like, oh, okay.
So you're like,
Yeah, and they shot down there in South Africa. Quite a bit of it was shot in South Africa and stuff because they have all those coasts and all that kind of thing that look like where a pirate would bury treasure and whatnot.
Sure.
And then you start going, and then this guy shows up, and he's hopping on the ship. They're getting new crew members out there in the Bahamas or wherever the hell. What is it? Not Bermuda. I can't remember. Whatever the hell those islands are that they. Let me. Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing we're gonna do. Isadora, we're gonna do because we did. I thought we were gonna be able to get all 4 in. For worst episode.
We were almost at 3 hours. I think.
Yeah, but
we're at 2 right now.
The thing we blab so much, we like talking to each other. So it's like, yeah. But the thing is, that's one thing I love about the chat. The chat gets involved, and then they add stuff in, and it keps the conversation going.
Yeah, totally.
So it adds, I love TJ adding in that Black Swan because I actually love Black Swan. I thought it was a really strong show. So yeah, but we
will talk about Dexter.
Yeah, so we're gonna do Dexter.
Not a fan.
And The Soprano. What?
I don't like Dexter. I already told you this. But, especially the character of Dexter. I don't like him.
All right, TJ. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you.
Bye, TJ. We probably should go soon too.
Yeah. It's like I've been running my mouth for 2 hours. Yeah, we've been like I said, it's time. It's time. But yeah, so we're gonna do worst ending ever part 2, and on those we will cover the ending of Dexter, which really had me angry. And we will cover the ending of The Sopranos. So we will watch both of those. And I'll watch it. Obviously, we'll just discuss.
I'll probably rewatch this.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch both of them again just so I can have notes and everything.
I don't think I'll torture myself with Dexter because fuck Dexter.
Well, Dexter, like I said, Dexter pissed me off, but
I watched it. I saw the ending.
Yeah. So. The ending of Dexter made me very angry because I always loved Dexter. I thought it was a very good show, and it was.
I'm trying to remember. I may have laughed out loud.
No, I wanted Dexter to finally. I thought Dexter had found someone that he could finally be at peace with, and all that. I was wanting
you always want people to get together. Yeah, but your happy ending is always people have to get together romantically.
Yeah,
in like a relationship.
Yeah. Well, either way,
I'm always a happy ending. It's fun, dude. Stay a romantic. That's great.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, this was like
I'm just a cold-hearted bitch.
Well,
I do like happy endings, though. I do. I do very much like a happy ending. Only if it feels like it's warranted and earned.
Let me do my shameless plugs because I didn't.
Oh yeah,
So okay, hold up. So
we only got one brand, or at least one brand.
Yeah, I didn't even mention brand. I forgot about it. So okay, I didn't even put my little thing. So there's my little trailer there for Brand Way to Gun Boom at cardpress.com. And if you're watching on another platform, it's youtube.com/cardpress. Please come over and subscribe. We'd like to have you. And of course, our dear friends over at Planet EJOBN. We appreciate them hosting these fine streams, and it's been nice interacting with people that are over at Planet EJOBN and watching us. So I enjoy chopping it up with you guys as well. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap this one up. Obviously, if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube, all at a Card Press. Cardpress.com takes you to my comic book Brand Way of the Gun. I'm packing. I got books right here. Boom. Your comic book head. Go check it out. Brand Way of the Gun. Cardpress.com. Go get it. Please holler at me. Holler at your boy. Jill, is there anything you want to say if I hit this button and end this thing? No.
No. Have a good evening, day, week, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll do Wire Wednesdays. We'll be watching The Wire if we can both get free on Wednesdays, and we're gonna go through.
I'll try to make sure because
So yeah, season 1, episode 2 next week of The Wire. And this is like I said, a really strong season. So if you've never watched The Wire and you're interested, because I saw some people look like you may not have seen The Wire or whatever and know what the hell we talking about.
It's definitely worth watching.
I enjoy, just watch the episodes with us or something. Just watch the episode and come back and have a conversation with us. We'd love to. Anybody that's a new Wire fan, I'd really love to get your perspectives on it. Because
unless you absolutely hate cop shows, like really hate them, then you should like it.
But like I said, Wire, love The Wire. It's like all-time favorite, and I'm looking forward to doing episode 2 with you. So
yes.
Whew. Well, so in other words, I guess that's it. Later, guys. Thanks for hanging out.